Coming up on the PipeCast.
Yeah,
Honestly,
you had to call him out on that one.
Actually, chichi lento yakhe yenza. Ay, for you to go to a whole podcast, my friend. And speaking of kids like that, also, you guys heard about the Joshlin Smith case?
Oh yeah,
The-
it's a very sad story, man. If you regret it to that extent, why don't you just say, I can't just send it to the dad's family or something?
Maybe the dad is dead. Maybe the dad.
Nah, I don't think he's dead.
You seem to know more about the story.
And you
Tell
mean
us.
I
How?
got
Dimanuel Kulu. Elaborate, chief. There's the mic right there.
Yeah.
Speak to the people. Tell them.
You wanna know?
How?
Yeah,
This is
so,
speculating.
How?
it's
We're in a test your jaw now. Careful.
but it wasn't the first time people went to space. It was the first time they went to the moon. So
Skip, but they didn't go to the moon, chief.
how do you mean? Come on.
You actually believe that Americans went to the moon? Holy shit. Welcome to the PipeCast, ladies and gentlemen. Serious, Baba. Until you die.
Hey, Maraish, imagine me, 46, and selling however old you are.
Shower reason.
Ish.
He's literally sitting with someone 20 years younger than him. Both of them.
Talking about
20 years younger than him.
talking about how one man is downgraded from that conference.
And he's the one who launched that conversation.
Thank you.
Ish. I know, look at your life.
It's disappointing. Yeah.
It was disappointing.
Honestly,
You had to
it
call
is.
him out on that one.
Which he did.
Now I was saying when we were watching the thing with Ayman, the money, the things that he says, probably a lot of people wanted to test his jaw.
Actually, chichi lento yakhe yenza. Ay, for you to go to a whole podcast, my friend.
I think we'll have to censor that.
No, but serious, think about it. For you as indodas, man, uzohamba uyolwisana a 20, how old is that? 23 or 24-year-old on a podcast because of he said your woman is downgrade. There's something she has to be doing right for you, my brother.
No, she's just a nice girl.
Yeah, man.
Shabu
Nice
old.
personality.
Ingozi ngamakiga uchichi. Educated pen uchichi la me.
Let's move.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Kanye also said Jay-Z's kids are retards.
Retard.
Yeah, he literally posted it on Twitter. So, yeah, Jay-Z's kids are
Are you even allowed
retarded.
to say that word on a public platform?
I've even heard. Oh, you're a retard. You're a retard. I've even heard allegations. Uguti. Apparently, Beyonce is also. Apparently, no, but she's not the brightest in the. Yeah, the
In
sharpest
terms of
shed.
what?
Sharpest tool in the shed.
In terms of IQ or
In terms of IQ, like
or does she
apparently
have a
Beyonce
mental
Dom.
disorder?
Beyonce Dom, chief. She's slow.
Slow in terms of
That's
what?
why Beyonce doesn't do interviews.
She doesn't.
No.
I've never actually seen
Thank you. Now, when they mentioned it, I was like, shit. I actually don't remember seeing a Beyonce interview. Then it all made sense.
Nah,
It
man, I
could
think
be
if you
true.
go on YouTube or something, we can find something.
No, you will find obviously some interviews from Dala and so on and so on. But there's a reason why she doesn't do like long interviews, like podcast interviews and stuff. She does interviews like, like runway interviews where they're asking about her songs and so on. And even with the song stuff and so on, Beyonce doesn't even write most of her songs as well. So, yeah,
She's an artist.
it's possible.
Yeah, but most artists don't really write their own shit.
Yeah, but she doesn't write because
I mean,
She's a
for
retard.
me, I wouldn't dispute it, you know.
But I wouldn't
Because I
go as
feel
far
like-
as saying she's a retard. I mean,
when ufuna defender,
nah.
it's very possible that she's a retard, chief.
Skips is the public protector.
Hey, it's bad.
Skips Matonze. I like that one.
No. Me, I believe it. I believe it.
Maybe
Beyonce,
she's
you
not
don't
as
see a lot
smart
about Beyonce.
as the average person.
That's why I said she's not the sharpest tool in the
Yeah,
shed.
but you can't go as far as calling her a retard.
The kids are retards, says Kanye.
Why?
Because apparently they were also not made naturally. The kids,
How they were like,
like
from surrogates and stuff.
artificial insemination type shit and so on and so on.
So, but I mean, I don't think there's any scientific evidence that would relate that to their mental illnesses or what?
It could make sense, though. I mean, if your parents are retards and then you're made in a lab,
How could you?
how could you be smart, kid?
I mean, if your parents are retarded and made naturally, how could you not be a retard?
That's exactly what we're saying, Skip. What are you saying?
Yeah, that's a baseless argument for like just because they were made in a lab or something like that, it means therefore they are retards.
No, you're saying the parents
They
are
were-
retards and they were
They're made in a lab.
So it's a double whammy.
It's a double.
Nah. I think Kanye just likes talking a lot of garbage.
No, but
I'd go
Kanye-
as far as say he's the retard.
I feel like he's retarded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I could also believe him. He spent more time with them. So if Kanye, if like me, if me shooting guns are come retard, they probably are, because I've most probably have spent a lot of time with them.
How many kids do you have going to Skips?
0.
That you know of.
Eh?
That you know
You
of.
know, so,
Yeah, I have like 0.
like 0.
Like 0.
Right?
All right.
Yeah. Mine
guys-
are they're all in liquid form.
Frozen liquid form.
Hey, and speaking of kids like that, also, you guys heard about the Joshlin Smith case?
Oh yeah,
The-
it's
the-
a very sad
Making the-
story,
the-
man.
Hey, bro, the story there is crazy. So Joshlin Smith's mother, Kelly, I think her name is Kelly or something. She sold Joshlin Smith for 20K.
Imagine.
That's crazy.
20K to buy drugs with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend was not even the father of the child, he's a stepdad in a sense. So me, I could believe that he probably is the one who planted that thing in her head. It's crazy for her to agree to it though.
Nah.
But he probably said, let don't sell the baby.
Speculation, but I think it's her.
All right, here it is. It says state witness claims mother sold daughter Joshlin Smith to Sangoma for 20,000 for her skin and eyes. A state witness has provided a shocking testimony in the trial concerning the disappearance of 6-year-old Joshlin Smith. Laurentia Lombard, who was originally a co-accused but later became a state witness, claimed in the Western Cape High Court in Saldanha that Joslin's mother, Kelly Smith, confessed to selling her daughter to a Sangoma traditional healer for 20,000. Lombard alleged that the Sangoma specifically wanted...
Yeah.
Yeah. The Sangoma specifically wanted Joshlin for her eyes and skin, and it makes sense when I saw her picture.
Is she like
her eyes are, yeah, she's got those tiger eyes, you know, those nice eyes, man, those weird eyes, and yeah.
Maybe if I have my eye contact number in that picture. Is she?
I doubt.
She kind of looked like an albino kind of. No, is she like yellow bone or something?
Yeah,
She's a
she's
colour.
light skinned, but extremely light
Like
skinned.
pale.
Not would I go as far as say pale? Pull up a picture.
No,
there.
yeah. So the revelation came during the ongoing trial of Smith, her boyfriend Jacqueline Apollos, and their friend Stefano Van Rijn, who face charges of kidnapping and human trafficking related to Joslin's disappearance from her Middle Post Saldanha Bay home on January 19, 2024. The testimony has added a chilling new layer to the case, which has already attracted significant public attention. Yeah, I know, like for me, it's crazy,
I
man.
just read headlines and so I'm like, okay, missing child.
What's
I could see
new?
what it keeps you. Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, this
just
thing,
sad,
it happened a long
yeah,
time
yeah,
ago,
not sure.
and I've had it for like a long time, really. But Nyabonu, okay, it's a case that's not going
Yeah,
away.
yeah, that's
So
what-
it has to
I
be
saw it when
serious,
it was beginning.
Yeah,
when
yeah,
it
same.
began, the mother was there, dog.
Yeah.
Like she was when people were looking and stuff. They were busy interviewing the mother. She was crying and stuff.
Yeah, obviously she has to pretend like, oh, what do you wanted to do?
So
Skip.
basically, they did do what they wanted to do with the Sangoma.
it's possible.
Probably.
And yet they don't know. We don't have proof now.
So he hasn't been found.
So and that's what I do. They might never find.
When is
right?
the mother
so they
taking
might
the
keep
stand?
searching.
Why are they even searching?
I don't know.
If it's clear and the mother confessed that we gave it to a Sangoma, then you find that Sangoma, the thing is gone. The child is gone. Whatever the part. So what's the point of continuing the search? Then? Or is it? Yeah, for me it's just a matter of finding the Sangoma and then asking that person where the child is.
It's crazy. West part man uzothengisa ingane say ikhule kangaka and say she kind of knows what's going on.
No,
the child was close to 10 years old.
The child is not fine, obviously, but I mean it's one thing. But selling them to go get killed, that's crazy. That's crazy.
And for 20K, bro.
For 20K.
Okay, not that.
The amount
not,
doesn't
not,
matter.
Not that.
No.
Human life,
Say-
but like
Sharp.
20K when
Human life cannot have an amount, right?
Yeah.
But there are certain amounts. I'm not saying we agree to
Yeah.
how much humans should be sold for. But if it says about for 5 meter, we'd have that understanding. Okay, we get what would could push her.
Yeah.
You understand? But the 20,000.
But see, isangoma esine 5 minutes.
No, but angali senyasho nje yena
in
zomama
general,
uzovuma i20,000 for inxosi yakho. But 20,000 ndamzini uyibhubhudla how many hours lapha eroom 130. Yeah.
What are you saying?
Sikakhipha ama-files wakho ukuthi wenzani in the dark. What you do in the dark.
Yeah.
Oh, booth.
Singene lapha ebooth. Yeah.
Siphume
nezandla ndamzini. No, 20k was wild. 20k is wild. And for the fact that you live every day knowing what I sold my daughter for 20k.
So what is she saying? I want to know, what is she saying? When is she getting
a chance to speak?
Yeah, a chance to speak. When is she taking the stand?
Yeah, I don't know about that either.
I want to hear that part. How is he gonna justify this whole thing?
Trying to smoke drugs, chief. That's the justification. I mean, my issue is the reason, like knowing what I'm selling you for your eyes and your skin.
Yeah, you're going
not
to
that
get
not the what I don't want you anymore. You're going to live a different life.
Yeah. Oh, I'm giving you to a family that can't have children or something like that. Then maybe
that's what number means by you can sell, but for the fact that
for
I'm
a reason,
yes.
You know? So the reason for me is it's the most painful things. But a daughter, nah, man, nah.
And she was a beautiful child, man.
Yo.
She was a beautiful child, man. It's crazy. So abazali laba who had regrets. There were regrets in
she's
her.
just a junkie. She's just a junkie.
A junkie that has regrets. Karab, I'm a junkie. I have a child here who I must take care of for the rest of my life. Let me sell this child and get myself for 20k.
I think she hates the dad.
No. Oh, the original dad.
The original dad.
Okay, why not just send her to the dad once?
She needed the money for the drugs.
She needed the money, chief. Oh.
No, I'm saying I need to
for her was the money.
No, I need to know if she had regrets. If you regret it to that extent, why don't you just say, I can't just send it to the dad's family or something?
Maybe
like
the dad doesn't. Maybe the dad is dead. Maybe the dad.
Nah, I don't think he's dead.
What do you mean? It's very possible, chief. This girl's is a junkie.
Did I'm interview the dad, Mus?
No, that was the stepdad.
No, I'm saying the biological dad of Wulento. I'm interviewing now.
You seem to know more about the story.
I got the story when the child was just missing, when this whole thing happened.
Elaborate, chief. There's the mic right there.
Yeah.
Speak to the people. Tell them.
How? Tell us.
How?
Yeah. You're speculating.
How?
It's
when I test your jaw now. Careful.
It's a simple missing persons case.
Yeah.
Where it's just that it caught attention because it's a small town, and nothing much really happens there. So the child went missing. Obviously, there's a manhunt now.
A child hunt.
A child hunt, so to say.
Yeah.
So they're busy looking. Now the mother, obviously, when your child goes missing, you're not going to be the prime suspect, obviously, because you reported the child missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously they interviewing different people. Now, obviously, your child is missing. I'm talking about the biological father.
Yeah.
Nah, he surfaces, interview, Yakuluma. No.
Was he a present father though?
I don't know.
They interviewed him. What was he saying?
He was talking about his child and pleading for help from the public and stuff like that. Obviously, they're not going to ask.
Does he sound like someone who used to
I
spend
don't
a lot of time
know.
with
I don't know.
But you can hear in the comments, would you know time that was never there? Yeah,
obviously.
I'm sad, my child is missing. Or is he saying, this was a good child, because that's what a father would say.
No, obviously, he was just giving brief descriptions of a child. No, Joshlin, she's a talkative.
I believe that he was a deadbeat father, that man. I believe Mina, he just came out because now she's missing.
How do you
because
know that?
Chief, if you were a present father, I don't think that would happen. She would never get in those minds of if you were a present father.
You just said drugs were the main motivating factor.
And him being a deadbeat, I added that as well.
I
added as well. She's probably a junkie who was probably taking care of this child by herself with this step boyfriend or whoever this guy was. Yeah. And probably the stepdad is the one that said, that's not mad. I say it. And then maybe the mom was like, yeah, footy, the dad doesn't do anything for the child. Make some money.
I don't know.
Because what other reason, apart from purely just drugs, would you want to go sell the child for 20k?
Hating the dad. That's my reason.
But if you hated, you wouldn't sell the child.
Why not?
Because of the dad.
Yeah. Chief, you uyadlala.
Nah.
If you hurt umuntu kahle.
Isho ukuthi umuntu onjani.
Uyazi
ukuthi ufuna ukusho ukuthi umuntu onjani.
No, just nje umuntu wesifazane.
That's what I was waiting for. I knew it. Yes.
So, yeah, then they
that crazy.
hate anything that is tied to you. Maybe the dad's eyes, you can confirm, Skips. Maybe the dad's eyes
Look deep into
there were
them.
those tiger eyes, like the kid's eyes.
That is crazy, man. Do you think people like that deserve the death penalty?
Yes.
We don't have the death penalty.
But I didn't ask if we have them or we don't, but do they deserve it?
Tangent. Speaking of death penalty, beautiful. I love it. So, last year, November 2024, I only read about this story now.
Of the Botswana girl?
Yeah,
Oh.
so Lapisi, something Lapisi.
She was supposed to be executed today.
She got executed last year November, Chief.
She's dead already.
Yes, she got executed in November
What did
last
she do?
year. So she was caught for drug trafficking.
Oh.
In Bangladesh.
You.
Yeah, she was caught for drug trafficking in Bangladesh. She's from Botswana, so she took a flight from South Africa to Doha, to Bangladesh via Doha. And then as she got to Bangladesh at the airport, Abambam, right there, Usangena.
Wait, she's going to Bangladesh via Doha.
Yeah,
Okay.
Doha. Yeah, she was going via Doha. And then when she got there, they caught her. And Bangladesh has just signed a bill or something, those type of laws and all that. Anyone who comes in with drugs, with selling drugs and so on, death penalty.
Yeah.
So this happened like last year around January or something. And then in November, she got executed.
You.
Wild. And it's sad because, in a sense, Botswana couldn't extradite her in a sense because now Wangiti, death penalty is there as well.
Oh,
But
they have
what
it as
for
well.
what? But for drug trafficking as well.
I don't know for what. I don't
But
know
they
for
have
what.
it.
But they have death penalty as well, so they understood in a sense.
Hey, Nazi.
Nazi,
One of
so
your
Kuluma's
guys-
team.
Now we're waiting for one of you guys. We're gonna search all of your guys. Hey,
Let me try and find the story. Speak about it because you know more about it. Let me try and find it.
Nah, okay, maybe what I saw was false, but I saw someone posting on social media that she's to be executed today. So clearly that must have been false.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is it that girl?
Yeah, the very same girl. And apparently there were, like you said, there were talks from both sides or both embassies that,
Yeah.
you know, let's extradite her and stuff, and then we'll deal with her this side, something like that.
And they were like, nah, we need to make an example.
Yeah, so to say. It's in lap. It's in
But I'm sure they ask questions
like,
like, you know, how much is she contributing to your GDP? You know, is she,
Clearly not.
Is she, what
She's
you
a
call
drug
a
trafficker.
productive citizen? Is she paying tax?
I mean, clearly
And then
not.
in
She's a
Botswana,
drug
I was like,
trafficker.
hey, reach out to this person. It's not even in our books. All she has is an ID number.
It's crazy how
Honestly, I wonder what talk they have.
your social media can give off so much. Because after that happened, Kopumi tweeted where she tweeted
Like, catch flights, not
not
feelings.
Yo.
The flight is straight to Bangladesh.
And she caught strays that side, not flights.
Now the flight is permanently grounded.
Never to fly again.
Hey.
We're gonna
Perfectly,
extradite her body.
Yeah.
perfectly executed flight.
And there was a similar case with a South African girl.
Yes, wait, let me wrap this one up quickly. It says a popular social media influencer from Botswana, Disedi Mulapisi, has met a tragic end after being executed in Bangladesh for involvement in drug trafficking. According to reports, Mulapisi was arrested in 2022 at Hazrat Shahjalal International Airport in Bangladesh with 3.145 kilograms of heroin in her possession. She was subsequently found guilty and sentenced to death. Mulapisi's execution, which took place in May last year, has resurfaced on social media after a user shared one of her old tweets boasting about a lavish lifestyle. The tweet posted, catch flights and no feelings, and this is sure. So yeah, she actually got executed in May last year.
How do you think they do
So
it?
do you
It's
see
like
how
lethal
cheap a
injection.
life is, Buffett?
Especially in Ada.
3 kilograms. 20,000. I'm scared for us, James.
How much do you think you're worth, my friend?
My life.
Your life.
It's not worth anything. But
Zero, my God.
I cannot put a price tag on
You know
it.
that
die
said,
for free.
Joshlin thought the same thing.
Yeah, I can.
Mulapisi thought the same thing.
Kanti hayi, 3 kilograms.
Ish.
20,000. We are humble.
For
You know,
free.
people
even,
have
like,
died for less, man.
Most
People
people
have died for less.
Yeah,
Most people die for free.
you know. So hey,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but I feel like if you have a strong government, I think they can more.
No one's about to execute in America.
Exactly.
Except for America.
Exactly.
Yeah, true.
No,
America, they hold so much pride in their people,
Yeah.
so they've said never we're extraditing that guy,
And
we're gonna deal with him this time.
Yeah.
Even the South African lady, remember, Loa Begafagama drugs in her dreadlocks and stuff.
Did she live?
Yeah, she lived. She's back now.
She even served, and she served some time.
Yeah, that's fine. You serve some time.
Yeah.
Learn your lesson. We don't want you to come and do it again as a
Yeah.
country. But you're not about to kill my people.
Yeah.
But it's tough,
These are
man.
my people. I'll kill them myself if I have to.
Yeah,
That's what I
true
keep
though.
doing.
Botswana, we're disappointed in you guys, man. You're embarrassing the southern region of Africa, man.
Bangladesh,
How you letting the North Africans bazenzele njengabantu bethu nje kanjalo?
Bangladesh,
I understand,
even,
but
my
Saudi
guy.
Arabia-
I understand, like,
I wouldn't even understand there as well, chief. No,
like a
man.
China or a Russia or
Yeah.
some
Bangladesh.
You will still Bangladesh.
That's disappointing.
Nah, guys. Nah, for 3 kilograms even. I don't know how much it's worth, by the way.
Yeah.
But if you just
It's like
look at
3
the weight-
kilograms is like probably like that size.
Yeah, it's like a. But the value, we don't know. Damn,
In.
How much street value
how
of
much
3
a
kilograms
kilogram of
of
heroin is
Yeah.
worth?
Okay.
Fact check.
3 kg heroin.
No, I mean, as a president, I wouldn't allow it, eh?
Yeah, true.
Nah, I wouldn't allow it. I'd be sending soldiers in there. We're waging a war.
$297 per gram.
Per gram. That's good.
But-
so now get a
So
1,000
that's about
grams and then
6
multiply that. So 3,000 grams.
Yeah.
So 297 multiplied by 3,000. There's some
Yeah.
value there.
But not in the millions or anything like that.
It is, no?
No, I don't
297
think.
multiplied by 3,000.
Is it in the millions?
It should be. Dumb.
191,000.
$191.
Dollars.
Yeah.
Dollars.
Yes, because it's $297.
Okay,
So it's in the meters in rands.
So yeah, she had quite. She had like a
She had
meter.
a boo.
Yeah, she had a boo.
Yeah, she had a boo.
But
Okay.
but
so then
for
you see, you're comparing actual things. So you have someone who's dying for like millions and Joshlin for like 20,000. Could be anywhere. You could die for 10 rand. Yeah, so. Machidasha number 2. Akwazane ngenxa yesnooker.
nangi 10 rand. Khona ingcose khona into ane Bramfish ekashonela isport.
Or a cell phone.
Bamkwazela isport. Ngiyayibona cellphone chief.
Yeah.
Isport. Garab sport. Eh?
Sport, yeah.
That's crazy, dog.
We live in a sick society, guys.
That we do.
But Uppsala, you need to fetch your people. You can't let other
Wasn't there? I might be lying.
You obviously lying.
Yeah, when you start like that, you might as well.
I think there was a South African that was executed in Botswana, wasn't there?
Aye.
You can check there.
Aye man. Check out the phone, baba. Check.
Check.
Yeah, yonke into manje. Oh, never. Oh, I need to move to the next topic.
Must be as accurate as
there
possible.
were astronauts stuck in space for 9 months. You guys heard about that?
How long do they usually stay there?
No, they were stuck in space. Like they were not in space for 9 months. They were stuck there. They were trying to get them back for 9 months.
Yeah, but I mean, how long do they usually stay there anyway?
I wouldn't know.
it's probably
Damzin.
9 months.
You should
Yeah.
know this. You're the scientist.
They weren't necessarily stuck. It's just that
I'm an accountant.
they
I'm a scientist, yeah?
their mission took longer because of technical difficulties. But it's not like they were stuck. They were in
Explain.
trouble.
Explain.
Yeah,
Yeah, yabona ukuba fact checker is not easy, yeah? Ngapha nangapha.
Okay, so they from SpaceX, I guess.
Okay, wait, no, here it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stuck in space no more. NASA astronauts Butch Wilmore. What a name for an astronaut. Butch. Yeah,
Yeah, they always have some interesting names.
yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Shuttle.
True. Yeah. Neil Armstrong. yeah. Butch
Buzz
Wilmore
Aldrin.
Buzz Aldrin. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always, yeah.
and Suni Williams returned to Earth on Tuesday, hitching a different ride home to close out a saga that began with a bungled test flight more than 9 months ago. Their SpaceX capsule parachuted into the Gulf of Mexico in the early evening, just hours after departing the International Space Station. Splashdown occurred off the coast of Tallahassee in Florida Panhandle, bringing their unplanned odyssey to an end. It all started with a flawed Boeing test flight last spring. Yeah. Guys want to hear more?
I mean, they won't really start, because the IIS is very busy. So it's like they just couldn't get home.
Basically, the two expected to be gone just a week or so after launching on Boeing's new Starliner crew capsule on June 5. So many problems cropped up on the way to the space station that NASA eventually sent Starliner back empty and transferred the test pilots to SpaceX, pushing their homecoming into February. Then SpaceX capsules issues added another month's delay. So yeah, guning. There's a lot.
All I wonder is just how much they get paid. That's all I care about.
Yeah, how much do astronauts get paid?
I have no idea. I know, like,
isn't it like those jobs where it's passion project, passion
they get
job?
paid.
Yeah,
they get paid. They definitely get paid.
Passion.
Because I think
for 9 months.
Yeah, but I mean, there's scientists also. I mean, world exploration and so on can be seen as a passion. That's why we see also in a lot of movies, you hear a lot of scientists saying they need funding from Gupina.
You can fact check.
You can fact check.
I'm a PEC. Does it not make sense for it to be that?
No.
Because it's world exploration.
No.
There's
for me,
a lot of risk involved.
It's like for me, usually in jobs where you have to move away from home or be far from home, you get paid a shitload more for the fact that you're not at home. So if you're not even at home, you're not even here, you're up there in space for 9 months.
Yeah, true, but how much are they getting paid? Because I mean, I don't think they get my thought is I don't think they're getting paid enough for what they're doing. They might be getting paid a lot.
How much is enough?
Enough. I'm a meter pay and I'm saying.
In rands or in dollars?
Even in dollars, what do you mean? Realistic, you know that more Puma, you might not come back, Chief.
That's like that.
When you're going underground,
so
my mining is better. Mining is better. Let's not lie. Mining is way better. No.
How much do you know that have died with?
We don't know. That's the thing, and we know.
How do you mean you don't know? It's publicized all the time.
Yeah.
Like the moon landing.
What do you
mean? What about it? No one died.
They lie, dog, with those things.
Remember the Challenger thing where it exploded while it was... Yeah, that's probably the only one you know.
My point exactly. How many do you think you don't know? How many tests do you think you don't know?
The taxis
that crash on the road. How many taxis?
No, but the taxis are right here. It's everyday things.
Yeah, so there's more risk to that.
There's more risk to being on the road than flying.
I'm easy. Yeah. But when you're a taxi driver, there's a higher possibility you could come back safely than when you're an astronaut. There's a high possibility you might not come back, and you know this. Piggies, I'm listening. Piggies, I'm on tata.
The numbers say it all.
The numbers came. Won't get a taxi in Damba. Chances are
you're not going
to come back. It's just that it's never happened to you.
$81,000 per annum. That's small money, Chief. No ways.
Yeah, it's not big money.
81,
but it's still like close to a meter, if not a meter.
Per annum. For an astronaut, that's 1.4 meters, but.
Yeah.
That's small, Baba. Never. That's even below decent for an astronaut.
You're just flying the thing to space. What do you want?
But that's what I'm saying. That is my whole point. These things, they probably get paid as if it's like a passion type thing. We won't get paid crazy amounts of money.
But I mean, 1.4 meters is not like a passion thing. But
1.4 meter for that. 1.4 meter for that. In terms of for world exploration,
tell me what
that's small.
As
I said, it should be meters.
The people that get the shitload of money is the people that are behind the scenes, the engineers. The physicists and whatnot, the people that actually make that thing fly, they're the ones that get more money.
Yeah, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that mina ngoba ngakhe rocket, right? Rocket to go to Mars, Karabo. Mina ngakufisa ku Mars. But awukusho ukuthi ngakubuyisa yini? Lalela, thula, shut up, thula. Ufike lapha ku Mars, You get there on Mars, there's no oxygen or there's inani. I get paid more than you.
Who are you?
I I built the rocket. That's what I did. I built the rocket.
engineer. I mean,
but
this
when
example,
you're going to
He's the
Mars,
driver, so he's the
Oh,
pilot.
he's the pilot. Okay.
you're going to Mars and coming back. No, I'm not the pilot because I'm not going to be. I'm just building the rocket.
No, you never.
They're the ones who drive the.
Anyway.
They're the ones who drive the things themselves. They drive it out into space. So you're saying that I must get paid more than you when we tata le rocket thing I kill him.
I built the whole
How do you
thing.
mean,
Honestly,
What do you mean?
I built the whole
I
thing.
built the thing, not you. You are driving it. I'm building
No,
it.
he's the engineer in this.
How? He's the engineer.
Yes.
Yeah, you must earn more than me.
No, never.
Yes.
It's just like in film and television, everything. The people in the background don't get paid more than the
But
stars.
that's a different analogy. You can't compare film.
Let's astronauts are stars. They're the stars of the show. Neil Armstrong. We know about Neil Armstrong. We don't know about the guy that built the rocket that he used to go to.
doesn't
He doesn't need that.
Yeah,
The guy, I don't think he makes more money.
he doesn't need that exactly.
But Neil Armstrong was supposed to get more money because Neil Armstrong was literally risking his life. That guy's not risking his life. He's just putting his theories into practicality.
No, he is doing so much more so that to minimize Neil
Neil's
Armstrong's risk.
He's saving Neil's life.
50-50.
Yeah,
It should be 50-50. No one should be getting paid more than the other person, guys.
You must take
Ndamzini angeke
skills
siqale
as well as
ngenze
a
mina
factor.
ngenze i-rocket.
Yeah.
Ngithi Ndamzini, you and Skips are going there.
I did all the
Nina.
thinking. You just have to drive it, Chief. I've made it simple enough for you. I'm not saying it's like simple.
No, but remember, even when I'm driving it, Namzin, I still need to use some practicality myself because
Yeah,
there's
that's what
certain
I'm
things I'm
saying.
gonna get
Simple
into
is
up there that you had not prepared. Yeah,
it's simple.
things you have not
It's
prepared
still
for,
very small.
I'm gonna face up there that you don't know about. If we can be honest, they don't really know what's going on
don't
up there.
need to know,
They,
bro.
you
Well,
do need to
Then how
know.
did I build the rocket? Yeah, because I do know.
You built the rocket to get me to Mars. When I get to Mars,
Yeah.
then it's up to me, my life. That's my life there. When I was getting down.
Let's make a simple example.
Yeah.
Let's say we work for a company, a car company, Toyota or whatever, and they say it's me and you. I build the car,
But-
I engineer the car, I do everything.
Yeah.
I put in airbags,
You are the
safety belts.
chief engineer.
Yeah,
Nyani,
and then
if-
you are gonna be the test driver.
No. Conversation yakho ngiyayizwa.
You are
You're trying to compare this to cars and so on, right?
Yeah.
Number one, imoto moyikhipha uye emgwaqeni, you know what you're going to find on the road.
Wait,
Oh,
make
you-
it a
you-
plane.
yeah.
Don't compare
Okay,
with a car.
okay,
Make it
an aeroplane.
Rather
yeah.
do that,
Yeah,
yes.
an aeroplane.
Yes.
So I built the whole aircraft, whether it's a Boeing or it's a private jet or what, and you're the pilot. So you should earn more than me as the pilot.
Because I have a lot more people's lives in my hands. You built the rocket fair for safety, but I have them in my hands.
They're actually in my hands.
And-
Number-
No, they're in your project, but in my hands.
People in your hands, but they came from my hands because if the plane flies like shit, you are not the problem. I'm the problem.
But Buffett,
unless you are the one that
but Buffett,
pilot air.
Mina,
That's why when the plane crashes or when the space shuttle crashes,
Yeah.
they don't go to the pilots, the
It's an
astronauts.
engineer.
They
not
go to
always.
the engineers.
Sometimes they go to the pilots. I've watched
If
enough air crashes in
error,
education.
Pilot
Yeah.
error. If
Which hardly
you did
happens.
the error as the pilot, then that's the problem. But if
Buffett,
it's the plane that has a-
ngiyaniza ukuthi ngithini.
Yeah.
Your points are baseless in what I'm trying to say. I mean, I'm speaking about this is space, Karabo. This is not flying from here to Cape
How
Town.
is space different from the sky?
No, it's a whole lot better because they know what they're finding here in
They
the
know what they're
how many
finding.
spheres.
There's nothing.
No,
They're finding nothing.
that's my point. The fact that you don't know what is there, the nothing that you don't. What if
do
something
know.
creeps
They
up?
do.
They think they know.
what?
They think they know. But when I'm also
Like
getting
a bird,
taxi,
a bird.
usukela
What? Something like what? What are they gonna find there?
meteors, chief. There could be meteors.
They know,
There
they
could
can
be.
They can
Wait,
detect
wait,
these
wait,
things
wait,
from far.
But what if they don't? Which is the possibility.
Which is gonna be the engineer's problem. That chief won't able to-
It's never precise. Ndamzi. You should know this.
But it's an engineering
It's always
problem.
always
It's
what
not,
ifs.
It's not the flyers, the pilot's problem. It's an engineering problem.
Buffett, I'm an astronaut are not exactly like pilots, Ismail. Because astronauts they don't only fly the rocket ship. They scientists as well. Don't forget that. So when they get there, they're doing a whole lot more when they get to Mars. Like getting samples of things and so on and so on. All you did was build the fucking rocket to get us there.
Yeah.
But when we get
Without
there,
me,
then
we
I
wouldn't-
need
Yeah,
to
we
do
wouldn't even
whatever
be
you're
there
doing.
without me.
without me, you're not getting that shit that's up there.
I can do it myself.
Why didn't you do it yourself?
I can do it. I can send a drone, a rover.
Yeah.
Then do it
That's all.
yourself, motherfucker. No,
But they did.
No.
They sent a rover. Young child. And then when we do that, people are gonna complain that no, you're taking the human aspect out of the whole thing. And
The rover
people
can only
start
prove so
complaining
much,
now.
though. It can't prove the human aspect of things that you're trying to figure out as a scientist, as an engineer.
Okay, so guy bonus number for every flight. Yeah. But
But I must make more than you.
No, why do I
The,
give you a bonus? And
the
you-
bonuses need to make more than you. I'm risking my life. You're not risking your life. That's what I'm putting to this.
But okay, now let's tie it back, to what we were speaking
Tie
about.
it back.
How much is your life worth?
Thank you. It should be worth a whole lot more than you building a rocket, Chief.
No, I'm tying it back to this thing.
It should be a whole lot more than you building a rocket.
Joshlin was 20K. How much is your life worth? To the point where you can tell me which just because you're going to space, you're risking your life. Who cares about your life, Chief?
And again,
who cares about your rocket besides you?
You. Why? Because
you care about me going there. That's why you built the fucking rocket.
I can go there myself.
But you didn't.
I'm creating a job for you.
But you didn't. But you didn't. Nah. I went up there.
But obviously, you must put it into logic again. I can't pay you millions and millions. It must make financial sense.
Exactly.
You know,
you're just an employee, Chief.
Yeah. You at the end of the year.
And at the end of the day, you're not the one also paying. Now I own a money. Now you're building. Now that's all you have to offer.
Yeah, but I have a lot more to offer than you.
No.
It's relative.
Yeah, I mean,
there are levels to this thing.
You think so? You think so?
What do you mean?
Because for instance, to be better than dumb.
If when you can build the taxi, as you say, you build a taxi for me to drive, right?
Yeah.
At some point, I'll figure out how you build the taxi if I'm driving it all the time. Yeah. That's how a lot of car mechanics are made. My mechanics also are made by themselves by driving cars.
From pulling it apart, not from.
Thank you. I'm gonna pull your rocket apart and figure out how you put it together. Chief.
Oh, I listen to yourself. Is
rocket
that realistic?
Science. Is it not? What's impossible about it?
Can you literally pull a rocket apart piece by piece and rebuild it?
How did they put it together? What do you mean?
I'm saying you as an astronaut, as a regular astronaut.
If I want to, if that's what I want to figure out, I will. I'll put my mind to it, I'm gonna do it. That's how a lot of mechanics at Kasi are made,
or start with the phone.
They're not taught. They do it themselves. Nabantu abalungisa phone themselves. That's how they start. They start by doing it by themselves. Kisha look. So this is how you put a phone together.
So then, if that is the case, or if it's as simple as that, why don't we have our own cars or car manufacturer here in SA?
I mean, that's a question you can ask the government, Chief. Why don't we have cars? Because there's lots of kids in Limpopo building cars. There's a kid that built a car in Limpopo that runs on water.
Water.
So he must get paid millions and millions.
That kid must get paid millions, Baba, because he built
the
car that runs on water.
Must get paid billions.
If the driver of the car is risking his life, then yes, he must get paid
driving
billions.
That car is risking your life.
Like for instance, do you think the guy that built Iferrariga Luis, right? Iferrariga Luis, the actual car.
Yeah.
Is he richer than Luis?
Enzo Ferrari. Are you talking about the
No. I'm talking about the engineers that built the car.
Because now it's divided now because there are a lot of engineers.
That's why
collectively you'll find that the engineering team.
But it's the very same thing with the rocket. No one ever builds a rocket themselves.
Yeah,
it's an engineering team.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Neil Armstrong needs to get more money than the
entire
team.
Engineering
not
team.
The entire engineering team,
then
but
at least one of the engineers.
Thank you. Or them individually.
Then
You need to get more money.
Then put it like that.
But that's what I've been saying.
Test this, John.
But
I see you were saying you were saying what?
No, I was saying in a perspective of if someone is the chief of everything, the chief of engineering, so to say, he's the one that's like came up with the whole concept. You know, if Elon Musk built Tesla, let's say he had built Tesla from scratch, he designed the whole car.
He didn't.
No, he didn't.
Yeah,
we all know.
And Elon Musk makes more money than the people that are building those Tesla cars.
And the guys that
no, but that's a different story because he bought it and whatnot. He's not a driver. Yeah, he's not a.
Basically, what I'm telling you is that if you're building stuff, Chief, it's mostly passion projects.
Nah, I don't think so.
There's a bit of a point, yeah.
I think
Damba knows this.
Finances are a huge motivating factor these days.
They are, as a PG's logo, but you're barely gonna get a lot of money for starting something from scratch. Most cases.
Okay.
Hey, I just built a brand new rocket and so on and so on and so on. They're gonna pay Neil more because Neil's taking it to the moon.
I thought that's happened. I very much thought
it's possible.
It's possible
that the niggas that built that rocket didn't get as much money as Neil did.
But remember, to the point here, Lewis Hamilton, you start getting paid for your brand. You know?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's why you can't say the engineers are getting paid more than him.
Are they, Dubs?
He's Lewis Hamilton.
Are they getting paid more than Lewis?
Shall I check?
No, they're not. We all know they're not.
Yeah, well,
This man was about to
a
date
brand.
Rihanna. Oh, he was dating Rihanna. He was dating Rihanna. Lewis Hamilton.
So
he obviously has money, chief. Rihanna has money. Billion. She's a billionaire.
So they should be a
Yeah,
downgrade if she came to me.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
also have a car, yeah.
You'd be a downgrade. In that would be a downgrade.
Check how much. Let me check how much the chief engineer, the F1 team gets.
Yeah. Check it out.
And then I'll check how much
Lewis gets.
Yeah.
No, not Lewis.
No, not Lewis. The
Lewis is a
astronauts, man.
different
I'm
guy,
talking about the astronauts. Yes. How much did Neil Armstrong make from flying to the moon? That's if that's true, though. Ha! Yo, okay, but back in those times, it was a lot of money. $27,000. Let me check. How much is $27,000? Yeah. No. Okay, yeah.
Say today.
Value.
It's not giving me a definite answer.
Bonjo, when was that flight?
1963.
1965.
Yeah, I have no idea. Why would I even remember that?
I'll just say 1960.
Yeah, and that.
$1 in 1960 was worth about $10 today.
Multiply that
So
by
multiply
7.
that by 10.
Yes.
27,000.
27,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
27,000. For that flight on its own.
Times.
Yeah, but it would have been interesting to fly to the moon in those years.
Yeah, crazy, man.
To trust that rocket.
Hey, bro. That's what I'm saying. With and you have to test out a rocket, chief, that we all not sure, Baba. We really all not sure. We don't know. No, with more figure upon the moon shop, we can say we've sent a rover to go check the moon out and so on and so on. But you're really gonna get there to the moon for real and see everything and come back and tell us.
But it wasn't the first time people went to space. It was the first time they went to the moon. So they had a bit of an idea of how.
But they didn't go to the moon, chief. Come on, man.
What do you mean, come on?
What do you mean? What do I mean? Come on. You actually believe that Americans went to the moon? Holy shit.
What evidence do you have that they didn't go?
What evidence do you have that they did?
But there are millions of documents, blueprints.
Okay, then let me ask you this question. So, if Karabo ufunde namhlanje ugenza iqanda, ungahlulwa yini ugenza iqanda futhi next week?
What? There's nothing on the moon, bruh.
So, why
would you want to go to the moon? It's
what do you mean?
unnecessary expenditure and risk as well.
No, Neil Armstrong didn't go through, he didn't check out the whole moon. He just checked out as the video shows. They only stepped out and stepped back in. Trust me, even if there's nothing, you'd want to explore more about the moon in itself. The fact that they haven't been there since 1960 should tell you a lot, Chief. They were able to send rovers to Mars, but they can't send a human back to the moon when they've sent them back in 1960 with the technology we had in 1960.
Mfunde, we have the pyramids. No one has ever built a structure like the pyramids ever again, even with the technology that we have now. Are you going to say the pyramids were built by aliens?
Oh, okay.
How were the pyramids built then? I saw what you call a video. Yeah, you know these people that speculate things and stuff like that.
Yeah, let me answer that.
That's
No. The whole pyramids thing is a whole lot different.
How is it different?
Because
technology is involved.
No, but lento le into yamanje 1960, Chief. And we know before 1960 no one had been there, right? And then 1960 or whatever year came, and then they went there. Why can't they go back? Answer that question for me, Wayne. I need yours. You're the one saying they've been there. I'm saying they haven't. So I don't need to answer your pyramids question. You need to answer mine, which why have they not been able to do it again?
Firstly, there's nothing on the moon. The cost of going to the moon.
Okay, so since you say there's nothing on the moon, since you say there's nothing on the moon, how much of the moon did they cover?
Obviously,
to say that
portion.
Thank you.
But
then you can't go and say the moon has nothing if you haven't been to the entire moon.
They sent rovers there. I can see that's the purpose of rovers.
I mean, I'm spying.
The moon has no atmosphere, no?
I'm spying. Angazange isibhayi.
So the moon is basically just like a giant rock in space.
Yeah.
Cost.
I guess buying.
NASA.
Because even if for instance the Americans were able to go there at that time, the USSR was also, they were having clashes and it, they would have also wanted to go there themselves.
Uza.
Did the USSR go to the moon?
Uza. It cost NASA and the US government $25.8 billion, and that was between 1960 and 1973. In today's money, that is $318 billion just for a single trip to the moon.
No, but
does it make financial sense? Is it as a taxpayer,
Chief?
And they
feel the squeeze
as a taxpayer, and then they come back with a rock.
Yeah.
Does it make financial sense?
Nah.
That's the US Fed.
Yeah.
How come the Russians themselves have not been able
It was
to
going to
go?
cost them the same.
Exactly.
But they'd probably be willing to take that financial risk because they've never been there. It's never costed them that much. It would probably
but I
cost
mean,
them.
you know what,
They
Mina,
would want to go.
Just because you
What's
can
an
doesn't
8
mean
billion?
Even other countries and other
They are
big
in
on
other countries.
Jeez, how many countries have space programs?
how many?
It's China.
Yeah,
maybe about 4.
How come the Chinese haven't went?
Because the Chinese are smart. They're like, guys, I'm not going to go to the moon and go pick up a rock.
Exactly.
No, but we don't know. We don't know. Rather, the Chinese go there and then they come back and they say themselves, well, the moon value is rock, so we're not going to send anyone back.
$1 billion risk. Would you take a
Chinese,
risk with your company?
the Chinese have money.
Yes, they have money.
Yeah, the Chinese
don't
can
have money
do it.
to
Even the Arabians can do it.
They don't have a
Saudi
space
Arabia can
They
do
don't
it.
have a space program.
They could fund the space problem.
Why? How is it going to benefit them?
Like,
You never know. How was it going to benefit the US?
they
It was a space race.
They are.
They had
wanna
this whole
be
thing
The guys that say,
we
You
did
see,
first.
thank you for what you just mentioned. It was a space race,
Yeah.
right?
and they won the race. So now
Uh-uh.
they're going there and being number 2.
But
You might
you
as well go further and go to Mercury or something like that as a Russian.
okay? But let me ask you this question,
Ask me
Damson.
this
To
question.
you, does it make sense though? For the
Yes.
fact that since 1960, they would have never tried to go back again.
For me,
They would
it
have probably
makes
tried
sense.
to go back
do
again,
what?
Spali.
To do what?
Spali, to go get a full glimpse of everything this time,
How are you gonna get a full
because
glimpse?
remember the first time they sent someone there was just to figure out, can we land someone on the moon and see what's happening. The second one should probably be, let's go find out more about the moon now.
No, the second one should be, let me just put rovers on there so that they can check out what's going on. And
Yeah,
I stay
it's
here.
less expensive.
Less risk, less expensive. You're sending just the probe, Nyana, and
Yeah.
just there and control it from here. Why would you send a guy there? And obviously,
Even the
oxygen
video
wise-
footage, yabo.
Yeah.
There's too many
was
hiccups.
1968.
Yeah.
Mina, what I'm saying, Mina, what
I
I'm
guess
saying about
buying
this whole
Nakarabo.
thing. Bona,
Oh,
skip-
okay, what's the
Nah,
what's
just
the
buy.
barrier? What do you think they didn't go? What's the technical barrier for you?
What do you mean?
Like, what's stopping them from going to the moon?
Because they
Like
didn't
that-
go.
that's
Come
what I'm
on,
saying.
Karabo.
So,
how?
Mina-
Apparently, this whole thing was made in a studio. That entire video that you guys saw of
No,
Neil
you're not
Armstrong
answering my
jumping
question.
onto-
I'm saying what's
I
stopping
literally
them to-
answered it, man.
What he's saying is that they're not going there again because they've never been.
How?
So they've never
No,
been
for the
actually
first
able to
time,
go.
what stopped them from actually going?
Whatever stopping them from going, Namanje, Chief.
yeah.
How? The financial, yes, most probably money. Because my question is, if they could spend that money back then,
Why can't they spend it again? Damba,
Even
Mina,
if it's
I
not
fully
on the moon.
understand you. Nah, I fully understand you. But what I'm saying, Mina, I'm not on the, because the way I see it here, Damba's saying they've never been
They've
there,
never.
they're not going again. You're saying they've been there, but it's just not practical to go
Yeah.
again. So I hear both of your sides. All I'm saying is that, like, why would you want to go to the moon in the first place?
you'd wanna prove Uchi, you really have been there, because
By going again.
For instance,
Yeah.
no, that's just a tip of it.
Yeah.
So it's that to you're gonna go again to prove what I've been there.
Yeah.
Number two, you're gonna get a whole lot more clearer footage than you did. The footage they gave us is trash. It's just small clips, 5-second clips. What footage here? 1 minute. They traveled so much just to get 1 minute clips.
But the rovers took clearer footage now in this day and
But
age.
the rovers are not humans. And it's the
What's
race
the
was
difference? It's just a picture.
the race was the race was about putting humans on the
and
moon.
that's what they achieved. Whether the
But now-
quality of the picture, the main objective was to put a man on the moon, and that's exactly what they did. And I mean, if you look at
we
it,
don't shoot.
if you can send a drone or a rover to Mars,
Yeah.
we pass the moon, we go to Mars, we send a rover. Don't you think it's possible to send a man to the moon?
Then
If you can
then they
take it.
do it again.
Why do it again?
Tell me. So how cheap is it to send a rover compared to a human? What makes the cost get to billions when it's a human and thousands when it's a rover?
Obviously, maybe technical aspects of it. You need oxygen, you need what, but things that are gonna
Life
accommodate.
is at risk, right? Life is at risk.
Yeah.
Precious life is at risk.
Yeah,
Which should cost a lot.
yeah. That's why I did
for the
mention.
astronaut.
That's why I did mention it's lesser risk.
For the astronaut, it should cost a lot.
Yeah.
The astronaut should get a lot because he's risking his life.
No, a lot is already invested to keep him safe. So
Yeah, so you're gonna be safe.
Then why don't they go back again since he was safe?
do what?
My chat is, if these people were in a space race, right, to find out and so on and so on, if you say you've won it to Figile, you would want to prove by getting a whole lot more footage, by going back again,
at what cost?
sending a human again.
At what cost?
It's just like when they send someone to go around the earth once, they send someone to go around the earth 5 times again.
The same guys.
No, not the same guy, someone else. The first time was a woman.
Yeah.
It was a woman, I forgot the name of the lady. And then they sent someone
In
else
an
to go
airplane.
again.
Or no,
Why would they send someone to go if they've already went once?
I've
Why must
said
they
it
go
a lot
5 more
of times
times?
that the cost of everything is too expensive.
I mean, I don't think the problem is cost for the
You
US,
know how much
not for the
318
US.
billion is.
but they can get a lot of funding in the US, chief.
They're not getting
to fund
anything
it.
in return after that.
That's the whole thing. All space exploration is passion project. You know this. This is not about making money. Even sending someone to the moon was never about making money.
That's more reason why not to just go there.
But then why did you go there in the first place?
To win the race.
Thank you.
And then you won the race.
Now you want to solidify because a lot of people are coming. No, it's not. If there's someone like me who's saying I don't believe it, then it's not solid.
And I can't make you believe something for 50 billion.
Do you believe it, Ramsey? Do you believe it?
What? That we landed on the moon?
Remember.
I've never.
The first time you did it
Yes,
was
yeah.
exactly for that, so that I could believe.
Why don't you believe me?
Because it's fake, chief. When you go do something, hey,
When the people saw the rocket there launching off, there was a crowd of people, and it
come on,
launched.
chief.
Where did it go?
Any rocket can launch up and then come back down. Come on.
Conspiracy theorist.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but even this,
It was televised.
this is
like,
a possible conspiracy theory itself.
Yeah, but everything is a possible.
Thank you.
you probably a flat earther as well.
No, you probably a flat earth.
What do you mean, Tom? There's evidence that.
I believe that the earth is round, but I don't believe that.
Why don't you say those pictures were Photoshop? What out of the earth? It's a similar concept.
Where was
Because you can
the picture
literally
taken
see
from?
that the earth is round. Like it's somewhat visible in a sense. You can see the earth is round. You don't even need to. You
But
can see the
you
earth is
saw
round.
the rocket go into outer space, and you saw people land on the moon.
Okay,
What more
let
do
me
you
ask you.
need?
Hey, is it impossible that they could have faked this?
Probably not, but
No,
it's
it's not impossible.
Answer it again.
no, it's not.
So then, how are you ruling out what I'm saying? If you yourself are saying
No,
that.
but let me pose a question to you, man. So if they
Welcome to the PipeCast, ladies and gentlemen.